This is Matt with Mobility 101, and right now we're going to look at some ways you can troubleshoot and problem solve specific to Olympic lifting and powerlifting with respect to wrist-related and elbow-related pain, nagging, and soreness, and kind of how to get around those issues, right? So I think it's important to look at the soft tissue upstream and downstream per the joint. So looking at the forearm and the triceps and all the muscles in between those joints is important to attack. So the way we're going to attack it today is it's important to test the field before you use a device or a soft tissue modality, and then retest after to compare and contrast, see how it feels. Okay. So what we're going to do is, if you think of the catch position in an Olympic lift, it requires a ton of stability in the wrist, right? But we also want enough wrist extension as well, especially in the power clean. So we want to test it just by adding some overpressure and leaning onto the table. You can do this on the floor as well, and just kind of seeing what range is available, how much flexibility you have in there, and stuff of that nature. So once we've tested and gave it a feel, okay, we're going to go into some just basic soft tissue devices. But I think the difference here is that, you know, I don't think you don't feel like you have to stay locked in one position with that joint or with that muscle and just roll out that way. You know, feel free to kind of add different angles. You get to attack the muscle belly in different ways that way. And then, by all means, feel free to add some wrist extension and wrist flexion to see if there's change there as well. Okay, you can do it with a tiger tail. You can get in there with a lacrosse ball. Okay, and even if you don't want to just, as opposed to just rolling, you could even just pin, drag, move it around a little bit, side to side, cross friction in that muscle belly. Just moving it around a little bit, and remember to add some wrist extension, wrist flexion as well, so gaining movement while you're pinning. Another way to do it is just with a PVC pipe. Okay, and again, I'm rolling, I'm moving my arm around, getting different angles of the muscle, adding wrist extension, wrist flexion, and the entire time making sure, with whichever device you use, adding pressure going down. Don't just roll for the sake of rolling like you're rolling a pizza dough. Actually add some pressure in there and go slow and controlled, and get different angles of those muscles in those surrounding areas, right? So then, after I've tested and done the soft tissue drills, feel free to go ahead and add in a retest to compare and contrast, see how it feels, and you should get a little more range, right? So moving on from there, we're going to look at the triceps. So the way to test that first is just a simple basic wall stretch. So same side arm being stretched is going to be that leg's also going back. So elbow up, hand back, lean forward, armpit to the wall, and see how that feels. See how much flexibility and tissue length you have in that triceps. Move it around a little bit and get an idea of what that feels like. Moving forward from that, just a way to get some soft tissue pieces. And again, using the tiger tail as an option, pressing down, moving around, elbow flexion, elbow extension, really pinning down, slow and controlled, okay? Getting different areas of that muscle belly. From there, you can move on to the PVC pipe, one at a time here. And again, I'm adding that elbow flexion and extension, slow and controlled, really pinning down, getting different angles. And then we can also go into using the cross ball as well, which I think is just better for actually pinning and really adding some overpressure and just dragging slow and controlled, adding elbow extension, elbow flexion, right? Making sure to get both sides. And then again, retest, see how it feels after. Then again, you should get a little bit more range of flexibility there, okay? So give those a shot before your Oli lifts or your power lifts and see how they feel. Thanks a lot.